Hey, this is Neil Son Dynasty. Max Headroom event. Please like, share, and subscribe. Be kind, helpful, or grateful. I've got my bed guard cat ready to attack for those who are not helpful. Ginger is ready to jump out the window for all of you who are not kind. And Dixie is also ready to do the same thing. So I got my shit together. Be kind, helpful, grateful. Buy some silver, some platinum, some crystallized osmium. Uh, Extra stores. Fill up your pantry like your grandmother did. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna read a book. Uh, yeah, be kind, helpful, grateful. Yeah, I said that, but that's not what this is about. This is about. I'll narrate. This is from the Geology Hub. Ocean expected to have a volcanic eruption in 2025, just not where you expect. So I'm going to do this number, which you guys should do also. This is very interesting.
The
It's very
state of
interesting.
Oregon is predicted to be the site of a brand new volcanic eruption per a team of scientists. Thankfully, they are not referring to one of the state's traditionally thought of 13 active volcanoes shown here, but rather a submarine volcano offshore of the state. There, approximately 290 miles or 467 kilometers west of where the Columbia River meets the Pacific Ocean, is the large underwater
Some
edifice
cool
of the Axial
graphics.
Seamount volcano.
Now they get
While
stupid
this volcano
graphics.
might initially look intimidating, especially with a nearly 500-foot deep caldera that is comparable in size to the infamously explosive crater.
By the way, Crater Lake, if you go there, it's beautiful. You should go there. It's in the south central eastern side of Oregon, right about an hour north of the Oregon-California border on the eastern central side of the state. Beautiful place. Beautiful place.
Lake volcano, it isn't all that concerning. If axial seamount were to soon erupt, such an eruption would almost certainly be harmless, not posing a threat to anyone. But for me,
Oh, hold on. Yes, it would pose a threat if you believe in global warming, because all that gas that is coming out is carbon. Carbon greenhouse gases are being emitted. 27 volcanoes are going off on the planet right now, all emitting, each and every one of them, every hour they're erupting, putting these greenhouse gases into the air, is emitting more greenhouse gases every hour than every human on the planet does in 1 year. And so that means the Earth is creating 27 years worth of greenhouse gas human emissions every hour.
Volcanologists and volcano enthusiasts, it will be scientifically interesting to observe, with potential implications for understanding and predicting activity at actually potentially dangerous shield volcanoes such as Kilauea, Mauna Loa, and Mbe. So, when exactly do scientists think axial seamount will erupt? First off, the current prediction is actually based off of analysis performed all the way back in October of 2024, which analyzed the amount of total uplift the summit of the volcano has experienced. Axial seamount in recent times has essentially always erupted when the amount of ground uplift, which, mind you, directly translates to the amount of shallow magma refilling its primary magma chamber, reaches approximately the same level as the caldera floor was directly preceding the last eruption, plus or minus 20 centimeters or 8 inches. Well, since Axial last erupted in 2015, its caldera floor has risen to 98% of the height it lost as a result of that last eruption, totaling about 1.5 meters or 59 inches. With this in mind, axial seamount has experienced 3 different rates of uplift during the last 5 years, so I will be extrapolating all of these to the present level of the caldera floor. Since greatly accelerated landrise has been ongoing since April 2024 and has remained fairly constant, the first figure will represent the most likely outcome, assuming that this heightened uplift continues up until its next eruption. If that were to occur, axial seamount could erupt anywhere from theoretically right now to February 2026.
That right there. Geology Hub. Okay, this is the first time I have ever heard that the science on volcanology is good enough to where they can predict within, 13 months of when it's going to go off? I mean, yeah, that's a long time period, but of the science that they're learning of volcanism, and they can use the math being the most part of the science because it validates it, then that can get better as the knowledge is gained. And you could probably, within a couple years or decades, depending on how much money's thrown at the science, figure out within days of when there will be an eruption. That is some cool crap. He's probably wrong, though.
If, however, its uplift rate returns to its fairly average stage witnessed between most of 2021 and 2023, then axial seamount should erupt sometime before February 2028. But in the highly unlikely event its ground deformation returns to the negligible inflation experienced during most of 2023 and parts of early 2024, then this volcano might not even erupt until November 2033. However, more and more data is increasingly suggesting an eruption by February 2026 as the most likely, since axial seamount is definably in the final of its 3 stages of uplift before an eruption occurs. For context, its submarine basaltic lava flows during distinct eruptions generally cover several square kilometers, averages a mere 10 feet thick, and erupts a volume of between 15 million and 90 million cubic meters of material. While an eruption could theoretically occur anywhere across its vast 237 square mile or 615 square kilometer edifice, the next eruption is most likely to be confined to the eastern half of its large caldera. So, with the summit at a depth of 4,547 feet or 1,386 meters below sea level, how will we ever know when this submarine shield volcano finally begins erupting? Simple, a very strong earthquake storm involving thousands of earthquakes in the time span of only a few hours. The largest of these earthquakes is typically in the magnitude 4 range, so if you see a cluster of a half dozen magnitude 2, 3, and 4 earthquakes centered within 100 miles of the axial seamount, it is likely erupting. Now, some brief information. Axial seamount exists due to an underlying hotspot known as the Cobb hotspot, with magma mainly utilizing a path of least resistance created by faults belonging to and associated with a divergent plate boundary between the Pacific Plate and Juan Fuca Plate. Here is the vent trend from this hotspot. While axial seamount only began forming 60,000 years ago, its caldera formed 31,200 years ago when a very large flank eruption in its northern rift zone drained a large amount of magma from its underlying magma chamber, causing the seafloor to collapse downwards to fill this empty space. Axial seamount tends to erupt about once every 10.
Hold on a second. Okay, what he just said was underwater volcanoes, when they spew lava, the caldera that holds the lava empties, the weight of the water pushes down, and the sea level drops. I wonder how that's calculated into global warming, temperature rising, and the seas rising. I wonder if they even calculated that in at all. Huh.
10 to 15 years, with its last eruption occurring in 2015. As a final note, I would like to thank my new patron Doodle Darko for supporting me.
Yeah, that's good. Good for Doodle Dorkle. Just wanted you guys to get this report because I found it very, very interesting that they are predicting. They have a computer model based off of the math of the ebb and flow of the floor or the roof of the caldera and the lava that's building up inside, and they can do the calculations to give you a date. 3 of them they gave, 3 possibilities from now till 2026 most likely, from now till 2028 second most likely, third most likely, probably around 2032 he said. So if they have this kind of math on natural events, occurrences, they can calculate a lot of things, folks. There's a lot that the Weather Channel's not telling you. You guys have a nice night.